Hey, welcome back
to Monday all weekend.
Yeah, Monday
everybody.
all weekend. I know you started, but I figured I haven't done it in a minute, so I would.
You did it last week.
No, you did it last week.
Well, I did it last week. Apparently.
I haven't done it for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Listen, A+ to you two with this intro.
We're amazing. We
Just
are
arguing about
on the ball.
Who did the intro last. What fools you are. What fools.
It doesn't matter. You're watching. You're here. You might not be here. You might be coming in later and checking this out. But we appreciate you if you're doing that.
We do.
We've got 2 solid topics today. But before we get into those, I want to touch on briefly.
Okay.
What do you guys think of not only Don Lemon being released from CNN, but Tucker Carlson being released from Fox News?
I did not hear about this.
This happened like Sunday and today.
I did not hear about this.
When you say released, is that fancy word for fired?
Fired. Don Lemon has been let go from CNN. Now, and this is following that pretty harsh interview he had with a guy where the guy was just like arguing with him and just stomping all over him.
Right. And everyone, wasn't.
And then I don't know. I haven't looked into the Tucker Carlson situation, but I think it's pretty significant that 2 big news networks have released like some of their
anchors.
No, the news networks are releasing 2 of their pretty big anchors.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like almost a couple of their
like
Maverick anchors.
Yeah, in like a few days in between. Yeah. Is that coincidence?
No, they were bought out by China. Both departments. And China's like new regime.
New regime. We need new people in here. Don Lemon is not liberal enough. Tucker Carlson is not conservative enough. We need harder opinions. Get Alex Jones in there.
We need stronger swings. We need more of the fringes.
Well, I can see Don Lemon. It's like you don't know how to argue. You just take everything personally.
Yeah.
But Tucker Carlson, I feel like, was pretty good at the very least of presenting an idea and arguing for that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why Fox News would fire him.
Well, the cool thing about both of these guys is they now have to see what they are actually worth, what people actually value in them, because their new job most likely is they're the personality on their own online platform.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, what show is Tucker Carlson popping up on first? Is it
his own YouTube show?
Is it a Daily Wire show or is it Crowder? Who is it first?
No,
or is it Rogan?
No. I honestly think it might be what is Alex Jones? War something?
What is his?
Don't know.
War something.
Yeah, it's something war.
I forget what his
I think it might be Alex Jones.
It could be Alex Jones, but I feel like you would go with somebody who's not so polarizing.
Sure.
InfoWars.
I would go for Daily Wire over InfoWars if I'm like dipping my toes into that space.
If you're trying to be serious with what you're doing. But Tucker Carlson has always been more intense. I actually foresee him going on like The Blaze, like with Glenn Beck, before he hits anybody. I mean, that's personally
that's absolutely possible. I didn't mean to sideswipe you guys with this.
Yeah.
Well,
but I was thinking about it, and I think it's pretty. I think it's significant because both of these personalities are dudes that people watch on TV all the time, and we talk about movies and TV, and this is significant of happening within like a couple days of it. And these are big personalities.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think Don Lemon does what? I feel like between Carlson and Lemon, Don Lemon starts his own podcast.
Well,
he doesn't go on anybody else's. He starts his own.
Yeah.
And he's expecting other people to come on his.
Well, the thing is, Don Lemon CNN did like their own streaming service behind a paywall, and their big selling factor was that Don Lemon has his own show behind the paywall,
Not
like
anymore.
a podcast style thing, So I think Don Lemon goes full on into YouTube content, and this is why I said this is going to be the test to see if anyone actually rocks with you, because it's going to show you what your followers' numbers are. because he can go on Instagram where people follow him and say, "Here's my new podcast."
Should we look that up?
No.
I want to know who has more Instagram followers.
Hold on.
Tucker Carlson or Don Lemon?
Well, while you guys talk, I'll look it up.
You look that up.
Yeah.
I just was thinking about it. You have two different sides of our kind of political thing, which we don't get into much. But these are like TV personalities as well, which were the original YouTube personalities.
Right.
Yes. Don't say
Joshua's always saying
I'm not sure about that. Yeah, we were watching TV before we were watching YouTube.
But they're not YouTube personalities.
But they're personalities. Which of them do you think is a better transition period? Who goes into being a YouTuber quicker? Lemon or Carlson?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know anything about these men.
I don't watch either of them like consistently.
So I don't know.
I think Tucker Carlson has a bigger fan base.
Maybe. I have no clue.
I think Don Lemon has a wider, like more people know about him because he's in the more liberal space.
So it looks like Tucker Carlson tonight, which looks like the only Instagram I can find for it, has over 2 million followers. Okay. And Don Lemon official Instagram, Don Lemon CNN with its blue check mark, 706,000. So
someone's got
Tucker Carlson's significantly larger than Don Lemon. Online on the Instagram.
So I think we can probably safely
say that Tucker Carlson's worth more.
Tucker might get his internet personality off the ground quicker.
Maybe.
Probably. I don't think people like Don Lemon, to be honest.
I don't know.
I think he would really struggle.
No. Wrong. Everybody likes somebody.
I think he would really struggle.
Somebody is attractive to everybody, no matter what your opinion is.
No, you're right.
You're always going to have people who are watching you.
Yeah, you're right. Everyone can find someone who's going to watch them.
Are there not? There's people who watch our stuff.
Bro, don't lay us right next to Don Lemon.
I'm not. I'm saying there's people.
I feel like you just laid us and Don Lemon next to each other and said, "See, look. Followers."
Not what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody has an audience.
Right.
If you go and look for that audience, you're going to find it. There's always going to be people agreeing with what you're saying.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And the only thing we're saying is that according to the numbers, it looks like Tucker Carlson might be able to lift off on his own if he decides to go on his own.
Right.
Rather than join somebody else.
And Tucker Carlson can start a podcast and get way more than Don Lemon's podcast. Don Lemon might struggle to get even enough money to get.
I think it would be a smart
way
move.
More followers that are way more loyal? Olan Rogers.
We are talking about Olan Rogers.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to sideline you guys, but I think it's interesting.
Kind of did.
Right.
Shut up. We are talking about Olan Rogers.
Yeah, because something crazy happened today.
This sideswiped me.
Yeah.
This came out of nowhere. It was I saw it on Instagram first because I was just scrolling through, looking at new pictures and funny memes, and I saw that he made a post saying we're gonna get to finish Final Space,
and your heart leaped for joy.
I was very happy. And then, of course, you go to YouTube. It's the first video I see in my subscription feed. And he talks about this process. And what do you think?
So just to kind of reiterate that video, he talks about how he worked for over 2 years to try to get Final Space back. He had sold it to Adult Swim, and he could not get it back. It was Adult Swim, right?
It was TBS and Adult Swim.
And he could not get it back to finish because they had dropped the show after 3 seasons. And he wanted to finish the story, and so he has been fighting for 2 years to get the rights to this story, to just do like something with it.
Warner Brothers owns it, by the way, right now.
And he finally convinced them. They have allowed him to do a one-time graphic novel. So he has put up a website, finalspaceends.com, and you can go pre-order this graphic novel now. It's $125.
And it's only 10,000 copies.
Only 10,000 copies, yeah. And they've sold over half of them by this point. And it's only been a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Not even 24 hours yet.
What does this whole website look like? I'm curious to preview it.
So we've got it zoomed in here just because this is really cool.
Yeah, that's the graphic novel.
And this is the cover of the graphic novel.
Yeah.
Really sick. Very cool art design. But this is the website. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Final space. The final chapter.
Right.
We got home.
That's where
which
we
is
are.
this. We got pre-order.
All right.
Which is here.
So over 6,000 people have bought.
We were looking at this before we went live. It was like 5,500.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already gone up another 500 since we looked at it.
Dang.
And it's like you said, 125. It's the graphic novel, and this is a pre-order, so he's not allowed to crowdfund this.
Mm-hmm.
Not allowed to use Kickstarter, Indiegogo, anything like that. So the pre-order is his way of funding this.
Yeah.
It's essentially you saying, I'm willing to buy this, and he's promising to make it.
And you get it next year.
And so it's sort of crowdfunding, but he's doing it on his own website.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, he's not allowed to use third party. There's clearly a bunch of conditions.
Stipulations.
But the fact that Warner Brothers is allowing him to make, images of this property is really significant. We don't see this often.
No. Once something's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
Because they're not ever going to let it go unless they can make significant money or their money back. Plus,
Yeah.
So this is a big deal for them to basically say, we still own everything, but if you really feel like you need to tell the end of this story, since we're not going to in a cartoon animation, you can have the rights to tell it in comic book, in graphic novel form. And that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah. Do you guys think that if he didn't put a cap at 10,000, that how many do you think they would sell? It would be crazy. I mean,
I think we
saw
would be flirting with 30,000.
We saw with Godspeed, the GoFundMe that he did for Godspeed, he blew his numbers out of the water by like triple, even 4 times more than he was expecting.
And when we were looking at that on our podcast, we even said it's been a week and he's already blown past all the goals. This has been out a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's
not
day.
even 24 hours.
When did he come out with the video at like 9 a.m. this morning?
Yeah, it's not been long.
It's 7 o'clock.
So
half a day.
We got to get our book.
Yeah, you better go ahead and order this tonight, or it's gonna be gone.
Let's see what we got. What are you looking at? What's this number?
So I was just calculating. If he sells all 10,000, which it seems like he will, and I understand this is going to go back into the project. Yeah. It's not going to just all go into Owen's pockets or anything, but he's going to have 1,250,000.
That's not that much money.
And
not for this project.
I think that is less money than you need.
Yeah.
For this.
Yeah.
For a 500-page.
Yeah.
Graphic novel. Even if you're doing 10,000 copies. I've looked at a couple crowdfunding projects for graphic novels.
Yes, they're going to be there's going to be a lot of ink in them, which is going to cost a lot of money.
A lot of ink, a lot of time, manpower.
The printing for these is like, I would bet that the printing is probably $10 a copy just for printing.
Plus, he is self-publishing
more
these.
Than that. I would say probably around like 30 or more.
He's self-publishing these, so that we're talking moving costs. We're talking packaging costs.
Right.
We're talking, how do we keep the comic book sealed? How do we keep the comic book safe in package? How do we store these? How do we move these? There's tons of logistics that go along with creating something like this.
Yep.
So, honestly, that's not, in my opinion, enough money. And he's probably going to have to put a lot of his own money into this.
Here's the thing.
he's passionate about this.
Yeah, here's the thing. Once he's able to kind of figure out more plans around this, like how are things being shipped, who's going to be heading it up, where is the storage for all this, we know we have this many buyers, we know we have this many more coming. So he's going to open this back up probably before the novel's out. This is just the initial money to really get the ball rolling, I think.
And, you know, I think if it turns out well, it's going to be a really incredible book. I've looked at the artist. He's really good.
Yeah.
He does a lot of Star Wars stuff. So I think that translates really well into this sci-fi.
What was the artist's name? Do you remember it?
Does it show on here? Does it tell on here?
Yeah, it did.
We were talking about what his plans are. He's going to be writing this novel, but he still has Godspeed. So he's not going to just drop Godspeed. He's still going to be working on that.
And also keep in mind, although it's been halted and people have, accepted his offer to buy it, he's also trying to figure out Lion's Blaze. He hasn't let go of that at all, There's still something going on with Lion's Blaze in his mind,
I believe it's Daz Tibbles is the artist.
Miss
DazTibbles.
Mr. Tibbles.
Daz Tibbles. I was checking out his Instagram. Really cool stuff. Very detailed Star Wars stuff.
It looks awesome.
It looks really cool. And to have that aesthetic put onto the final space world, I think is going to work very, very well. And this is, in the video, Olan says to be able to finish your story is the most special thing. That this thing that he put his heart and soul into.
Yeah, for years.
That he went into Hollywood to create it because he wanted everyone to see it. Which I think is laudable.
I mean, this was during the time of he started the soda parlor, and it got destroyed by a hurricane. He had to just drop that because he couldn't go back and restart the soda parlor because he was making this show.
And then a lot of things got upset by the virus. And I think that really put a halt to the things that he wanted to do and this production moving forward. But when he says in the videos, like, just being able to finish your story, this thing that you've been passionate about, that really, I think, speaks to a lot of people who are creative, who are in this space, who see failure often, sometimes daily.
Right.
To be able to finish your story after it's already been realized. You've seen it on screen. We've seen
you walked up right to the end, and
someone
took it away from you.
and they just cut it off.
Right.
And that sucks. But this is gonna get made.
Look, and I'm actually really excited because he gets to pick how this ends.
That's right.
There's no writer's room.
There's no one else.
What he wants in there. There's no executives giving notes. It's literally this story is going to end 100% Olan, which is what I want.
It's almost like a creator that has an alternate ending, but it's just the alternate ending. It's not the ending.
This is his way of ending this story. And as somebody who tries to write in their spare time, having an ending to something, I know he already has it.
Yeah.
I know he has already written this ending a bunch of times, and he has it planned out. He knew exactly how it was going to end, which is why it was such a big blow that they said you couldn't finish the show.
Yeah.
He knows in his head, scene for scene, even dialogue, up to the very end. He knows music.
When can't play any music, but
when you're writing something like this in your mind, you have exactly how you see it, how it plays out, how it sounds, how it smells. You're living in this world.
Yes.
And he's been experiencing that for years. and to finally be able to put it onto the page.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's really awesome.
It's really it's important that creators get this opportunity, and honestly, it's really kind of crazy seeing, for everyone who's not in the Hollywood system like ourselves, to see the rules and guidelines around when someone buys a piece of property, intellectual property anyways, that you can't just buy it back from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't just say it's not working out, I will take it back from you, you know? And so it's kind of nuts that this has been such a problematic period of time, but it seems like it's running into a happy ending, which we've been thinking it's a sad ending for a long time now.
Well, I think it's also important to recognize that a lot for years in Hollywood, the way that you come up with a show is from pitch dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dudes are going, it's like, all right, so what about like a fire truck crew, and it's a sitcom, and it all takes place in the firehouse, right? And the one guy, he's married, and the other guy, he's not married. And sometimes their wives come in and out, and their kids, and it's this big whole like family around this firehouse.
And
they just pitch it almost soullessly, and it's the writers and creators who give it like form,
life,
right? Give it life that people become fans of. Whereas with projects like this, where the creator is pitching it, it's a piece of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's
that's why he got so emotional in the video.
Mm-hmm.
This is a piece of himself that he put out into the world that didn't work out, that was unjustly cut off and
held hostage.
And that's why he's so excited, because when you put this much of yourself into a project, it's really hard to see a company own a piece of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Own Gary Goodspeed is very much an Olan Rogers character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Voiced it.
The friendships,
Olin
relationships.
Didn't just come up with this story. He didn't just write it. This isn't just his brainchild. He was the actor for the main character.
Mm-hmm.
He voice acted the main character.
Voiced it, yeah.
And his friends voiced, his literal friends voiced Gary's friends in the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, and that's important. So to put this much into a project and finally get to see something is awesome.
Yeah. And this will be pretty badass, I think.
I think so.
I
look forward to reading it.
I think something else is going to happen after this graphic novel, because
Absolutely.
it's going to show already he's close to being sold out in less than 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That is
He'll get sold out
crazy.
in 24 hours probably.
Yeah.
Something I feel like they're idiots if they do not just take a look at this and be like, how the heck did he sell out in 24 hours?
I don't think that's I think they've got bigger things that they're looking at.
Maybe.
But
yeah, I wonder how Hollywood feels about Olan.
Yeah.
I don't know if that it's Hollywood as a whole. I think there might be certain creators that are like, wow, people are really passionate about this thing that he created, and good luck to him. That feels like more Hollywood to me. Well, he did good luck. But they don't realize that this thing is about to really seriously impact the industry.
Mm-hmm.
This crowdfunding, individual creators being able to create what they want to the audience that wants their stuff.
Not even on a known website.
Mm-hmm.
He just had to make this website so he can
We're not
it.
talking about streaming services versus Hollywood at this point. We're talking about individuals versus Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where individuals versus Hollywood is going to be the future.
Pretty much.
And right now it's like, well, good luck, Olan Rogers and all of you individual creators. But I think in the very near future, we're gonna see more of this, and Hollywood's gonna have to start to try to keep up.
Yeah, I mean, when is Hollywood going to keep up with people like Ian Hubert, who's doing Dynamo Dream?
Or The Chosen.
Or The Chosen, who is completely crowdfunded. Angel Studios popped up. They got The Chosen show They got a kids cartoon they're doing about Christianity now, and then they just got another major film, His Only Son, that came out around Easter. So Angel Studios is 100% crowdfunded studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really boiling up, and they're finding creators like Dallas Jenkins who are passionate about their work and giving them the ability to do that work, right?
And I think the conversation goes, it's like, all right, well, eventually those people are going to get a big head and they're going to make mistakes and they're eventually going to fail, and maybe they will, but people are going to fail until others learn from their mistakes and create a whole nother industry.
Right.
We're seeing an alternate industry happening right now.
Yeah, I think
we're in a weird space, and we're willing to sacrifice as many careers as we need to.
Personally, I think the future is all going to be indie style. All the studios are going to be indie studios. Just about if you're a successful large library indie studio, or if you're a small, not as successful studio.
People want to see the indie stuff, but they also want to see a level of professionalism.
Yeah, but every good creative can get to the point where it doesn't matter what you have resource-wise, you can make your stuff look professional.
Well, I love a good indie movie that is entertaining and obviously only cost, like $1 million or less than that, a couple $100,000,
right?
I think that's incredible, and they draw me in with an incredible story. But there's something to be said for a movie like Avatar.
Yeah.
Which costs millions and millions of dollars to create something that visually nobody has ever seen, or Lord of the Rings even.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't, and honestly, I don't think those are going away. I think companies like Disney, like Warner Brothers, are going to thrive and stick around. I just think they're going to do less projects. They're going to have way more competition for the public's attention. You know what I mean? People are more likely to go see a movie released by The Chosen. It's like a branch of The Chosen, than they are going to watch Black Adam. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So studios they're going to take a big budget indie mindset. You know what I mean? So it's like, we can do 2-3 big things this year with budgets that are 50 million plus. So what are we spending that money on, as opposed to trying to do like 20, 50 million plus budget movies, you know what I mean, a year. So it's, I think that's the way it's going to be looking, because there's just going to be too much competition and too much quality and too much talent that's just on the rise and going to keep rising for the next probably 30, 40 years, honestly.
It's kind of, it kind of leads into our next topic of what we're about to talk about. Joseph, do you want to introduce this? Because it was your idea.
Let's shout out the Patreon really quick.
Go for it, bro.
Thank you guys. If you have gone and subbed to the Patreon, we really appreciate it. There's a lot of cool stuff over there. Exclusive videos, early access to like podcasts and videos and all sorts of things. And we really think you guys would enjoy it. Yeah. So, go over, pick the best tier that suits you guys, and, see what we have to offer on the Patreon. Thank you.
Thank you. You're the best. So you want me to intro this?
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna run through this quick.
Okay. So at CinemaCon, it was happening in Los Vegas recently. The Vanity Fair, I believe, is it Vanity? Vanity Fair released an article where they asked a bunch of questions to executives or people who own franchises, who own movie theaters, right, all around the country. So these are businessmen and women, and so they're thinking like, what are the logistics? Like, what are the major problems? Why are we losing money here? Why are we getting an influx of money here? So they interviewed these people, and they had a series of questions. Some of them duplicated questions, and some of them gave different answers. And I think this actually is interesting because it kind of gives us a perspective of what the people who run movie theaters all around the country are thinking about the movie theater system. So we are going to look at the questions, a couple questions that were asked that we saw in the article, and see what the answers were as well.
So the first question that they asked, and this was one of the ones that they asked every movie theater company.
Okay.
So there's four separate answers.
Okay. So 4 different people answered this one question.
Yes.
And this is how they answered it.
What is the biggest challenge facing the movie theaters?
Yep.
So the first answer is the reduced volume of film content. I want you to look at that. I want you to think about that because that's really important. They say we're highly encouraged because the production cycle that was disrupted by the virus is aiming to get back to pre-pandemic levels.
Right.
And we're now seeing larger streaming companies get into the space in a more meaningful way. They're saying, so the reduced film content. I would like to point out the fact that movies and TV shows were coming out consistently.
Yeah,
throughout the pandemic.
Yeah.
Throughout everything that was happening. And even now, we're seeing a lot of these pandemic movies coming out and being successful.
Right.
I don't think reduced volume of film content is what's affecting the theaters. I think quality of film content.
Reduced film quality.
Yeah. That's probably a better answer. But they had an answer.
Yeah. What's another...
I don't want to, so we're going to be touching on this kind of spoiler. But they did, for movie theaters, have some streaming stuff. And they did introduce something like that. So that was part of movie theaters during COVID a little bit.
Well, the next answer is, to the question of the biggest challenge facing movie theaters is, it's been very inconsistent with lack of quality movies. So this is a good answer from we're not naming which theater companies these are.
Right.
We get one good movie and then nothing for 5 to 6 weeks. You can't run a business in that regard.
That's a pretty direct, fun
That's
answer.
very direct. It's, 2 sentences?
Yeah, but
completely
straightforward.
Like in the other direction of the first question. It's quality, not quantity that we're worried about.
Yeah. Well, you can have as much movies as you want if no one wants to go to the theaters to watch that movie because it looks dumb.
I would
No one's gonna
agree,
show up.
but also disagree with this.
Okay.
I would agree, yes, there is a lack of quality out there with movies today. And that is why people are like, I don't want to go see this dumb movie. But I have said this on this, I don't know about on the live, but I've said this on videos before about the COVID movies. I think the first one I can think of, there probably was stuff before this, was The Guilty with Jake Gyllenhaal. That was a fantastic movie.
That was really good.
But it was a COVID movie. You can tell. It's just him in a room talking to people, and there's not a lot of actors interaction. Yeah. But it was a fantastic movie. I thought the quality was very well. It was very well done, and it was a good movie.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. But I again, they say an inconsistency of quality movies.
Yes.
So where that one was good, there were maybe 5 or 6 other ones that didn't land.
Yeah. Yes.
I would
for
100%
audiences.
agree. So we're getting the content, but again, the quality is lacking. The next question is the next answer rather, the self-fulfilling prophecy of people aren't coming back to the movie theaters. I actually disagree. The couch is overrated. People are hungrier than ever to have social experiences. We are letting headlines lead with streamers. So so similar to the last, people want to come back. They just want to come back for the right stuff.
Yeah.
And then the last answer is we're still seeing audiences come back slowly. Everyone's habits have been wildly interrupted. Some screenings get full, but those are few and far between. In smaller towns, there's an older demographic that's still nervous about going back. Again, I agree. People's way of life has been disrupted, and a lot of people around the nation are getting back into it.
But the thing is, I also have to consider this is a very convenient time for them to just milk the blame towards people's fear. You know what I mean?
Also,
when honestly, the problem is quality content, like you've been saying.
But you can also blame something that really can't fess up. This virus,
Right? That's what I'm saying. It's really
you
easy
say,
to...
"Oh, it was that thing's fault. That's why we're not doing as well."
Yeah.
Right.
Well, maybe get more creative, make better movies. The guilty did it.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because this kind of poses a question of I'm all for going to the movies. I love going to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a fun time to go on a Friday night or a Saturday night at the movies. But I think not having people go to movies and stuff coming out in streaming services and things like that pose kind of a challenge for Hollywood. It shows us with like Olan Rogers and what he's doing right now of the indie creators almost being able to disrupt the Hollywood just going straight to the theater and them getting all the money. Because it's very difficult for someone like Olan Rogers to make a movie and then put it in theaters. He doesn't have the money to back that.
True.
But he can do things like this, like the GoFundMe, the Godspeed stuff.
And then it becomes up to the audience.
Yes, it kind of has, I guess, kind of snubbed in Hollywood's face and saying we don't have to just rely on going to the movies.
We don't,
even though I do love going to the movies.
We don't need your big company's money to watch stuff that we like.
Yes,
we can fund that.
Yeah,
I mean, we did. The Chosen went to the theaters twice for season 3,
and we funded it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The audience,
Mm-hmm.
which I think parlays very well into the next question: streaming services, friend or foe? So there's only one answer to this that somebody gave is we see them as friends. It's a misrepresentation that streaming and theaters compete with each other. They're complementary to each other, or frequent moviegoers are the most active streamers. When they don't get a theatrical window, it doesn't help anyone. When they don't have a theatrical window, it doesn't help anyone. But they also prove that people love content, obsessed with content. If we figure out a way to screen their movies like Amazon did with Air, it'll help everyone.
It sounds like the guy who answered the very first question.
This is blatantly wrong. They are competing.
yes,
They're very much competing.
yes.
Sounds like this guy wishes they weren't.
He wants them to be more complimentary. I would like them to be more complimentary, but they're not.
It does seem like so now with movies. Back when the virus was going on, things would go straight to HBO Max, straight to the streaming service of the choice, whoever the highest payer, basically.
Yeah.
Now we are seeing a lot more of Creed 3 went to the movie theaters for a month. Then you have the option to buy or rent it for like $24 now. And that has opened up an avenue of being able to sit on your couch and pay theater ticket prices.
Especially for like a family.
Yeah, but
Not
you
to
can watch it
leave.
from your home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, honestly, Disney was doing that first. I think I remember when Cruella came out, it went straight to Disney Plus, and Cruella cost like $24 to rent the thing.
But
Yes.
again, if you're paying for it, that's different. Whereas if it's just going to streaming, that's not working if you're doing streaming and theaters.
Yeah.
I think that is the stupidest thing ever. It's like when Dune came out, it went to theaters and it went to HBO.
Yeah.
And that was wild. That was insane.
Yeah.
It almost didn't make enough money to make the second movie.
Yeah, it's like they just threw caution to the wind and said, it's in theaters, everybody, if you want the theater experience, but it's also on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
So do with that what you will.
Yeah, that was the answer. Do with it what you will and make your own choice, your own decision.
Which I went to the theater, boys. You did not.
We did not.
You said I went to the theater on vacation
I went
to watch
my
it.
theater, my
But
home theater.
we made a choice, which they gave us.
Right.
But with a movie like Top Gun Maverick, they didn't give us that choice. They said, "Come to the theater and watch this movie,"
And it was well worth it.
it was absolutely.
You
worth
guys went
it.
twice.
We went.
Yeah, I
twice.
remember. Shoot, what?
What are you trying to think
I don't
of?
know. Did we go? We went, me and you, and then we went with
Joseph.
Joe.
Yeah, we went like, I think I got a free weekend like 2 weeks after you guys went.
Yeah.
And you just went with me because you guys could not stop talking about it, how good it was.
Mm-hmm. It was
worth it. I remember that going to the theater. I don't remember as much going with you, but I remember the day going with Joe.
Yeah.
Was very memorable.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Let's blow through these questions.
How about this? We're getting real close on time, so let's do that next question. Let's skip the recession questions. How about that?
Okay.
Let's just do that one next question, then we'll call it wraps.
Well, let's do the next question and then the recession question and only one answer.
All right, if that's what you want, but let's do it quick.
If you had a magic wand and could fix or change one aspect of the industry, what would it be?
In regards of theaters?
Yes.
Okay. I have been thinking about this. I know exactly.
Well, you didn't get the chance to answer the question. Go for it.
No. I want to hear your answer. We all need to reinvest in our theaters. The business model for the movie theaters was already difficult before COVID. COVID made extraordinarily high hurdle for theater owners. But we can't let our theaters get old or beat up.
Okay. I did not know that answer. I had not previously read that answer. Okay. But my answer is very similar to them with a twist. I think today, really, think about where we live, Virginia. Mm-hmm. There's only one theater. What theater is that, Wyatt? Regal.
No, it's AMC, bro.
AMC Regal. Wait, AMC though.
It's AMC.
There's more than one.
You said literally there's more than one.
The
only
also
got
the
Cinema Cafe.
Is AMC.
There's only one that's dominating. That's dominating theaters.
Dominating.
Right? Cinema Cafe is one, but it's still
AMC's in the mall, and there's like 3 malls in this area.
I think we should protect our theaters. We should start doing a podcast to protect our theaters. Maybe. That'd be fun.
I'm getting a little loopy, guys. We need to hurry up and wrap this up.
Yeah. I agree.
Like our Sylvia. We used to have a home theater that's owned by individuals.
Okay, but your local theater is important.
Theater.
And it's important to support local theaters.
But Joshua, you brought up AMC. Our local theater is the Cinema Cafe.
So we should be supporting.
Yeah, but
there's multiple locations. There's multiple locations. It's basically big corporate.
It's a local chain.
It's big theater at this point.
They got like 3 locations, bruh.
It's big theater.
I think AMC is probably going to be all right, but no, you going to see an AMC movie is shut up. Going to see an AMC movie is great.
I don't want to see Maria Menounos anymore. I'm tired of her.
It's a good.
I'm tired of Maria, and I'm being forced down my throat.
Yeah, it's a good experience, but you go support your local movie theaters.
All right.
What would a recession impact the movie business? And the only answer that we're going to talk about, depending on how bad the recession is, yes. We believe in a value-driven concession stand. You'll get a lot for your money. Also at the box office. You need a decent price structure that allows it to be affordable. Everything's going to go up. Yes, it would obviously affect going to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is about to get more expensive.
It's already almost a little
$30 box of popcorn.
It's already almost a little bit too expensive to go see a movie. It's like,
it's 100%
maybe
too expensive.
I can swing $15.
Yeah.
Right? I can swing it. I'm not going to buy any snacks. I might get a drink. We'll make do.
But honestly, that $15 ticket, that's hurting the theaters more than it's hurting the movie.
Again, but we're in, and also for a single adult or, 3 guys going different. It's different than a family because mom and dad are paying for kids.
A bunch of kids.
It's expensive. Wow. So right now it's already hard to go see a movie, and movies are making money. Mario made money. Maverick made money. John Wick made money. It's difficult. If there's a recession and it just prices hike up like $40 a ticket, no. I'm not going to see a freaking movie. Not when I need to put gas in my car.
All right.
Not when I need to feed my kids.
Right. Okay, so this leads me back into my original theory I said on the podcast. I think the mini local theaters, not like the Sylvias, but like Subdivision has a theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that kind
Home
of
theater.
that kind of thing is recession proof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that kind of theater survives, and they're gonna have to make deals. Hollywood's going to have to make deals with these local theaters to get their movies in those things, because that's how they're going to make money. And there's going to have to be triple the amount of them than we have right now, right?
Maybe.
It's also the fear from the virus.
From Metal
proof,
Gear.
You know what
Solid.
I mean?
The fear.
The fear.
Yeah.
A few people will get that. I think economically, that very small theater that you're talking about, I'm not sure about it. And if I'm really truly thinking about it, there's a lot of it, and the prices aren't going to change. You're just going to have a lot more really small theaters with less people going to them. Maybe it could work, maybe not. But regardless, people do want to go see movies. But I don't think going to see a movie is going to be more important than feeding your kids.
Feed those kids.
Feed the kids.
And then secondly, go see them.
The children of the future.
And then secondly, go to the theater. Because we need the theater.
We do need
it.
the
Brings
theater.
joy.
And so, on that awesome note,
Feed them kids.
we are coming to the end of our live stream. And we appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate you checking out the playback and the VODs and everything. Tell us what you guys think down in the comments. Show up for the live show next week.
Next
Monday. And the Monday after that. And the Monday after that. We want to see you guys show up.
We got to take a break sometime.
No. We're
Eventually.
never taking a break.
We'll take a break.
We're always going to be on here. And we are going...
We'll see you next week for Monday all weekend.
Hey, we love you, everybody. Bye.
Yeah.